This past July wasn't just the hottest in Phoenix history, it was the hottest month in world history. That's according to new data just out from NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. That data showed that we smashed the previous record, which was set last July. Scientists placed the blame on long-term human-caused global warming.
That announcement comes on the heels of Governor Katie Hobbs declaring a heat state of emergency in Arizona. Any county that has had 30 days of excessive heat warnings from June 30th to July 30th can now apply for $200,000 in reimbursement for heat-related expenses. The three counties that meet that standard right now are Maricopa, Coconino, and Pinal.
Now to our ongoing coverage of power and influence in Arizona. As we deal with those historic temperatures, utility giant APS is trying to make its case that it should be allowed to raise your rates. But the agency in charge of fighting for the consumer says not so fast, instead concluding that the utility has not proven that the rate hike is justified.
Joe Dana is covering the APS rate case and has the latest on these ongoing hearings about our electric bills. Joe?
During these hearings at the Corporation Commission, the burden is on APS to prove that any rate increase is necessary. Fresh off the shock of summer power bills, many utility customers are reminded of why utility rate cases are so important.
Now it's a matter of, will I have enough money for rent?
Right now, the Corporation Commission is hearing testimony on APS's proposed rate increase.
We're trying to put as many controls and protections in place.
On Monday, APS President Ted Geisler answered questions about his company's practices. APS wants to charge what it says would amount to about $15 a month more for the average home. Arizona's 5 elected commissioners could vote as early as next month to grant all, some, or none of the requested increase. A major party in the case is RUCO, the Residential Utility Consumer Office, charged with representing you, the utility consumer. RUCO recommends an 8.7% profit margin for APS, less than what APS is currently allowed. APS is requesting a 10.1% profit margin. Every fraction of a percentage point means the difference of tens of millions of dollars.
What I don't know, Joe, honestly, is where the need ends and where the greed begins.
Need versus greed. That's what consumer advocate Abhay Padgaonkar says is at stake. Commissioners must decide what APS truly needs to deliver reliable service and what would amount to unnecessary revenue.
That is exactly their job, is to find out what the true need is, not based on hyperbole, and cut them off at that point.
APS tells 12 News its request reflects rising costs to serve customers. That, quote, "It's critical we continue to strengthen our infrastructure to protect against extreme weather and also support Arizona's growing demand for energy." The commission already increased rates earlier this year to accommodate rising fuel costs. Hearings are scheduled through the middle of next month. Whatever the commission decides could go into effect as soon as December. Joe Dana, 12 News.